This is the Ridgid HD1600 dry wet vacuum cleaner. It's 16 gallons, 6.5 horsepower, 4 different attachments, apparently a leaf blower, and an 8-foot hose so that you can vacuum the hell out of your shop. My name's Zach Barber with Yorktown Tools. Let's talk about it. All right, now let's get right into the review. We're going to break this review into 3 categories. Number 1 is really just the quality of the build, and then how it's packaged and how it kind of sets up. 2 is the price point and like how easy it is to actually get or buy this machine. And then 3 is the actual performance itself. Like, is this worth that amount of money, and will it get the results that you're looking for? So for the quality of the build, first glance, all the plastic, which this machine is mostly made of plastic, is pretty heavy duty from what I can tell. There's a few things I'm not a huge fan of, and we'll get into that. But let's start with the attachments. So really, there's 4 attachments. You have your nozzle, you have a pipe extender, you have a second pipe extender, lastly, you have a broom head that also converts into a squeegee by this little attachment right here. There is an extra feature that this claims to do, and we're actually going to try it out here, but it does have a leaf blower mechanism, which we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure about this. Anyway, the cool thing I think about this system is really the way that these attachments go together. I think it's a quick release idea. I think the idea is pretty smart, but I do think that over time, this is going to be the downfall of this vacuum. And the idea behind it is that one side has a clip and the other side has these ridges. And all you're going to do is you're going to push it on, and then it basically snaps into play. It holds together really good, but over time, I can see that this plastic will break. Comes off super easy. Now, for the broom head and the squeegee mechanism that goes on top of it, this one is a little bit more complex. Basically, it has little ridges, and then it clips in to itself. Takes a little bit more time to actually put it on, but once again, super easy, super convenient, and this one doesn't seem like it's going to break as easy as that little clip that I was talking about. So, fairly impressed with the quality of the attachments themselves, and I think it's kind of unique that they use the wheels, or where the wheels are, the casters, to be able to place all the attachments so that it's easy for storage. I think that's kind of unique. Second thing that I think is going to break on this thing fairly easy are the clips that secure the head onto the bucket itself. Now there's one on each side, but it's that same cheap plastic that we were talking about. Do I think it's $150 worth? Probably. But do I think that it's going to break? Yeah, absolutely. All right, another cool feature about this that I think is pretty unique is the drain itself, which is at the very bottom, very similar to a cooler, as in it's literally all the way at the bottom, which allows for easy draining. The one thing I did notice about this is that it does not have a gasket. So I would assume over long periods of time, this thing may actually leak, but probably not very often, I wouldn't assume. And if you're really worried about it, just put some type of O-ring in there and then lock it up. But the mechanism itself, I think, is pretty freaking sweet. All right, the hose itself looks to be about an 8-foot hose. It has the same locking mechanism. The hose is 2.5 inches in diameter, and it seems to be pretty decent. Like, you could probably beat the hell out of it and it would be okay. Let's talk about the motor itself. So on the head itself, this is a 6.5 horsepower motor. I'm going to take out this. This has an on and off switch, which is easily identified. Just super easy. That actually feels like it's made pretty well. Then to take off it, it has the same little cheap plastic clips, which I'm not sure about. We'll see how it works over time. That may be a problem as well. And then the motor itself doesn't look too bad. It looks like it'd probably hold up pretty well, but it doesn't look like you can actually work on this or service it in any type of way. Maybe clean it a little bit, but overall it is what it is, and once it breaks, I think that's pretty much it. Now, what you do notice is that it does have a plastic O-ring to seal it to the actual the cap of the bucket, and that's just to make sure that it gets the maximum suction, which I think is pretty good. All right, so we'll kind of push this off to the side. Now, for the motor itself, we'll go back to this attachment. Ultimately, this one has a different setup than the other ones where it's not that little clip. This one is you push in and then twist, and then it kind of gets stuck on there, which this method, though it's not quicker, I feel like it's going to last longer. So if you wanted to use it as a blower, I think it's going to work pretty well. The limiting factor is that it is a corded machine. So if you're doing it around your house, or you're doing maybe the front of your house, something like that, around the shop, probably okay. Because this is about a 20-foot cable. So you got 20 feet of blow and power. It's not going to match those that have a backpack blower or a battery blower or something like that, where you can pretty much go anywhere and everywhere. I'm assuming if you're using this for blowing anyway, you're probably not in the landscape and lawn care industry. All right, now let's talk about the price and the ease of actually obtaining one of these products. So the price point is around 150 bucks. You might get it on a promotion for a little bit cheaper than that, but also with tariffs and the way things are going, it may actually rise here in the future. So about 150 bucks today. And then for the ease of actually buying this product, I would say that it's pretty easy. You can get it almost at any big box store, your Home Depots, Lowe's, that kind of stuff, but also smaller little specialty tool stores. So if you search for it, you can probably find it almost anywhere, which I think is great. All right, I guess really the last thing that we have to do is put this thing to work. So let's vacuum my Camaro. The second test is trying out this leaf blower. And lastly, for the wet vacuum, we're going to try a two-part test. Put a little bit of water on the floor and then use the squeegee attachment. And then the second part of that test is filling up a bucket with about a gallon of water and sucking it out. Let's see how it does. It actually did a really good job, I'm not gonna lie. For a wet dry vac, not bad at all. All right, now I'm gonna pour a little less than a gallon of water inside this bucket to see how fast this thing can actually suck out. cool thing about this is that if the water keeps continuing to rise, this is a 16-gallon tub, but this little float will go up, and as it rises with the water, it will plug the hole that actually it goes to the engine. So it's like a safety mechanism. I think that's pretty clever. So here's the final verdict, and I really think it goes into 3 factions. As a wet vacuum, it did extremely well. I was pretty impressed about its performance. It was able to suck up a gallon's worth of water within 3 to 4 seconds. So that tells you right there that the suction power is pretty intense. On the floor of a clean and smooth surface, it was able to suck it up and dry it off extremely quickly. So I think that the attachment itself did really well. For the car itself, as a dry vacuum, the suction was good, but the attachments were just too large for the application. So I think if it's for like sawdust inside of your shop or some dirt or something like that, that would probably be okay, because the suction's good and that's what actually matters. But the attachments for my application just didn't hit the spot. So I would just use my $50 vacuum and probably get the same or better results. And then lastly is as a leaf blower. Now, as a leaf blower, it absolutely sucks. Is it great to have that option? Sure. And I think maybe around the shop, if you have to just kind of like blow something out, sure. But it's a vacuum cleaner. It's not a damn leaf blower. So for 150 bucks, I think it is a decent buy. I wouldn't say it's the best buy, depending on your application. Would I personally buy it for $150? Probably not. I would probably just go with a cheaper option that you know, sucks out the cars and does the little bit of things that I need around my shop. But if you have something a little bit more, or something that has liquid, I would definitely buy it. So for 150 bucks, questionable. All right, so that pretty much wraps up the review, the unboxing, and a little bit about the Ridgid HD1600. My name is Zach. Thank you for watching. YorktownTools.com. I'll see you later. For those that stuck here until the end, here is a little bit of bonus material of me unboxing the actual vacuum. Let's take a look at it and see how this thing stacks up.